So welcome to LCC International University. My name is Vidmante and I'm Admissions Director here at LCC. I'm myself LCC graduate. I graduated now quite a few years ago, and now I have been working at LCC for the last 10 years. So my job is to welcome students like you from all around the world. My also job is to travel and do recruitment, tell everyone about LCC, and also, to visit local schools. So that's why we have very close relationships and connections with the local schools. And a few weeks ago, we received a call from Vidūnas Gymnasium asking if we could host you here on LCC campus. So it's such a pleasure to see such a great group of high school students. I'm myself Lithuanian, so I would like to know where you're from. Okay, so how many are there from Spain? Okay, so this is a Spanish group. And how many from Lithuania? Okay, and I know that there are also students from Turkey. Okay, so who's from Turkey? Okay, so quite an international group. And Italian? Who's Italian? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, welcome. Very nice, and you are also very blessed to have this experience, to be in an international and multicultural environment. And through this, believe me, you will learn a lot and you will develop as personality. So you are very lucky, you are very rich now, because you have this pleasure to meet each other, and I hope that you will make great friends and you'll be able to travel the world and meet your fellow students and friends in different places. Is one of LCC alumni who graduated LCC also quite a few years ago, and she has a story to tell it and share with you, because we were asked, to maybe find some people who would be able to share the stories of being bullied. So I'll invite Agle. Agle is currently teaching at the local art gymnasium, which is also similar to Vidūnas Gymnasium, which also focuses on arts. So Agle is a teacher there, currently working with high school students like you. So let's listen to Agle.
My story, happened quite a while ago, 23 years ago. So I can already tell it easily, without any tears or I'm still shaky a bit. I can feel it because it's been a while as I've been in front of many people. But now I have a question for you. How many of you in your life so far have changed schools? Okay, good. So you'll understand me. But my story began when I moved to a new school, and I was only a 12-year-old. A 12-year-old whose family had financial problems. Meaning, I was dressed up in my cousin's clothes. My parents could not afford to buy any new clothes. Of course, they were not fashionable or cool at the moment. So being a new kid at school is already hard in itself. I think you understand, right? Look a certain way. Okay, just dressing part is one part. I had braces, so my teeth today look much differently. I had this called rabbit teeth, but really big rabbit teeth, because when I had braces, they even had to take out 2 teeth just because they couldn't move it kind of back. It was really like my 2 teeth would be like this, So, being close like that, the teeth in itself. Also, I was actually really warm-hearted. I was really a nice person, I would think, because I never liked getting into conflict with anyone. So whenever someone said something on me, I would just kind of keep silent. I would never say something back, which I think also made it more difficult for me. And also, I have this from my father's side. I kind of have this hairiness, on my body, and I had some on my face. So today, of course, I look like this, and you would think, oh wow, how this person could have gone through that. So my school, the first 4 grades, they were in this kindergarten, because at that time it was kind of a normal thing that kindergartens could also have first 4 grades. And then it's not that I was forced to move, but there was no other choice, because there was no 5th grade in my school. 3 other kids from my previous classes, they came with me, and I hoped that that will be a help and that I will have my friends with me, so it will be easier. But as soon as we moved to a new school, they totally forgot about me, and I was non-existent anymore. So I was totally lonely. And I think you know how 12-year-olds are, especially at that time. Now we're talking loudly about bullying. Now it's an open subject. At that time, nobody was approaching that. Nobody was talking about that. I remember I would come back crying, and I would talk with my mom, and we went one day to talk with one of my teachers, and she was like, "Oh, poor you, I know it should be hard with you." That was it. Nothing else was done. There was no conversation, there were no questions. Okay, so who's bullying you? Maybe we can talk to them. Maybe we can talk to their parents. Maybe we can, I could organize this kids group. We could talk about bullying, what that is. There's one who's being bullied, right? There's one who's the bully, but there's also the ones who see what's happening. And I tell my kids and my students, never, ever pretend that nothing is happening. Even if it's just a silly joke, even if it's, just a funny remark about the way someone looks. Especially it's easy to make fun of those who, look a certain way. Maybe you won't change the world, but you can change the way you're acting and the way you're behaving or reacting to certain situations. So then my mom kind of forces me to this art school, and oh, thank God that she did that. Because they look at the world differently, and some of the kids whom I know who would be, let's say, bullied in my school, they are not, because kids don't care. Like, it's their style. It's cool to be different. It's totally different. So when I started going to the art school, now when I remember, that was my first step of my healing. Friends, little by little, appeared. And they actually did not mind any of those things which I hated about myself. Of course, since the verbal bullying kind of hurts you in a very deep way, and some of those things are not even obvious to the eye, like you don't trust people, right? You don't like yourself, self-confidence is like minus something. Even sometimes now, I still, sometimes when I think probably it's because of that I have some fears when I'm communicating with people, or when I have close friends. I still can feel that I'm not 100% confident. It's interesting now to meet some of my old classmates, and all of them, the first thing they say, "Whoa, you've changed. You can talk? You talk loudly?" Yeah, because that was when, let's say, you have to come up in front of the class. Every time the teachers would be, "Agla, louder, we don't hear you. Louder, speak louder." Like, because it's so hard inside, you're so broken. It's just, even your voice is not that loud. I did not have an opinion. And so he comes up to me, and I think it was the day before, yeah. And he says, "Agla, you'll be leading a workshop for the German kids." Leading workshop for the German. Yeah, the whole thing, we've done it so many times. You'll be fine. No, I won't be fine. I'll have to be in front of other kids, no? So then that's one of the examples, but he pushed me. But he did it with love. He did it with confidence in me. He believed in me more than I did in myself. And if you find someone in your life like that, because I know when your parents, my mom would be telling me all the time, "You're wonderful, you're beautiful, I love you, you shouldn't listen to those kids." that I didn't care about that because she's my mom, right? She has to tell me those things. I don't have any friends who's telling me that. But at some point, few kids appeared, right? They were never close friends. We don't communicate today as much anymore. We sometimes meet, but it was still better than having no one. But that teacher, he was the first one who outside of my circle, family circle, said, you know, you can do this. So that was another big step into the healing process. And then I came to LCC. So at 16, I started working during the summers. I started selling ice cream in our resort city, Palanga, beach city. So that was the first time I actually had my own money, which meant I could finally buy my own clothes. It felt so good, let me tell you. Finally, I could buy the clothes I like. Of course, I couldn't afford the fancy ones. I was buying from the second hand. But today I'm a very good second-hand buyer. I can see some things which are really of good worth, you know, just because of that, because I wanted. At some point, it's also funny. I wanted to look a certain way. Yeah, but I think it's more about being independent and about, you know, being able to do something for yourself. They're very open, liberal arts, Christian background, right? All of those things, I felt like I came to this big family. I don't know why, but everyone was so nice, everyone was so friendly. Yeah, I have one of my best friends, we were roommates. So we are friends even today. And people started telling me, you're beautiful. Like commenting me, complimenting me, and I became a volunteer here also, I remember. And but I think what was the best thing, that it was a clean slate for me. I left my city, I left my school, I left my family, and here this place was a totally clean slate and a very safe space for me. Very safe space to be who I am. And I flourished here. I met my husband here in this university. We are happily married for 12 years already. So I'm glad for that. And yeah, my story, this was the place where I realized that I want to be a teacher, because before I always loved, since childhood, I always loved being with kids and organizing things for kids, but I never saw that as a job, because I couldn't see myself as a teacher, I think. I couldn't see myself standing in front of people and being a teacher, right? And I don't remember many of the details, but I do remember how I felt. I do remember those faces. At some point, I remember I was thinking, what would I do if I would meet them one day? And today I would simply have a conversation with them, show them who I am, you know, and that none of the things they were saying to me or doing to me have impacted me, but they haven't disrupted my life, or, you know, I survived, and I think I thrived, as I called it. So I think it's never too late, you know, to love yourself. It's a process, it's a healing process, but yeah, I'm glad that I'm here where I am today. Not forgiving means you're drinking the poison yourself, and you think that others will die from that poison. Because actually, if you don't forgive other person, maybe they don't even remember what they did to me, because they were kids at some point. I sometimes think of that now when I look back, and probably they don't even think of me as much, you know. I'm sure they don't think of me, but I kept them all those years with me, and it hurt me, so I had to let that go. I just had to kind of, you know, just think that this is me today. I survived, I thrived, as I call it, and yes, that's what I see. When I would meet them, I actually would like to simply have a conversation and just to see what they're at today, not because, you know, that, oh, you know, and I am doing so much better. At some point, I also was wishing that, oh, I'll do so well that once I'll meet you, I will be such a better person than you are. No, today, no, not anymore. Just, I would actually be interested to meet them and see where they are at. So just because it's interesting. Now I'm curious more.